You alright, Rob? You seem like you've got a lot of stuff on your plate.
No, I'm just setting up the I'm setting up the recording so that I can go downstairs and watch WrestleMania at the same time.
I see. Oh, so you're
Well,
not gonna be on the call?
Yeah, I'll be
this
on,
is
but I'll
more
be
for
like,
us, but I got some choice on because we never have choice on.
Well, three of them ain't going to be on the call next week.
hey,
Oh
Three
yeah,
of you ain't going to be on the call next week.
why not?
yeah. Do you remember?
You're at a gig.
You forgot. Do you remember Incubus?
That's so funny, man, because I I got an email today being like, "This is your last chance to get tickets for Incubus," and I was like, "I'm way ahead of you," but it's still didn't register until next Saturday.
What is Incubus except for a male sleep demon?
Incubus are a new metal band from the 90s who are very, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
They
actually,
kind of
early
like
2000s.
slept on, for want of a better word. Not many people, apart from me, Rob Manuel, and a few others, really appreciate them because they're always kind of like everyone.
Wait.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I wonder if I should pick a lighter film or not a lighter film. Fuck, what should I pick
Well,
for my film?
me and Pat were gonna say if like we could move it to either Friday or Sunday, depending.
Can't do Friday, but I can do Sunday.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to.
Well, it's up to you, Simon, because it's your phone.
I'm just going to set up downstairs. I'll be back in a sec.
Cool. See you soon.
Okay. Well,
Or worst comes to worst, if no one can do either, we could do a double call after that. But if yours is like, yeah, I'm gonna pick a 3-hour intense movie that's so
all right.
depressing.
All right. It's mainly because you guys like shat on my happy, funny comedy film. Okay, no, that's not true. You guys didn't shit on it, but it's like you guys weren't like you guys weren't like super impressed by the comedy film. But it was like, all right, fine. I'll choose something a bit more graphic. Is probably what I said. But I was like, you know what?
A bit more drastic.
Yeah, dramatic or graphic. I both.
Oh,
I have to try.
But I mean, like, I choose. I mean, like, actually, where's my phone? Let me see what on my list. Let me see my list. Maybe I can choose something. That's the runtime is not as long. Give me a second. All right.
Simon.
Yeah, what's up?
You might know Incubus from the Halo soundtrack. If you ever played it.
yeah, that's a good point. They've been in a lot of soundtracks. I know John must know them, and even Pat probably has seen an AMV back in the day.
I do like Halo. I've not seen any of like the extras, like music videos and stuff. Mainly because I've only played technically Halo 1, because I don't own an Xbox. So it's like I played Halo 1, got like screwed during the campaign when I was trying to fight the Flood, because it's kind of hard to fight the Flood when you don't really when you don't have enough time to like practice. But I've seen all of Halo. I've seen the campaign for Halo 1. That's about it. Halo 2 and 3 are completely out of my brain. I don't know anything about it.
Well, Simon, get this. Have you seen the movie Surf's Up?
No.
Well, they're on that soundtrack.
Okay, cool.
Where they like surfing. They've also on the Spawn soundtrack, 97.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay.
So yeah, that Spawn movie. That sounds like a film you'd pick one day. So a lot of classic bands from our era.
Actually. I'm still actually. No, give me 1 second. What do I want to choose? There's so many fucking choices. Do I want to choose good? Do I want to choose bad? Do I want to choose funny?
Oh, the
I fucking hell. I sometimes really look at my list, right, and I'm like, oh shit, this is so worse. I could be such an evil bastard, but like, I don't know.
Good, the bad, and the Humphrey.
I'll make myself laugh. Oh my god. That's okay. All right. So, wait. Oh, wait. Has Rob went downstairs? I think, or wait, because I think I saw Rachel just for a second. Then I think she just jumped off. I think I see her again, or oh no, right. They're back. Okay.
Sorry, the camera wasn't working for whatever reason.
Oh right, because you popped on screen, then you popped off screen, so I was like, oh well, I wasn't sure if they were like connected properly. So before as I was gonna say for Rob. So this is the fuck. Give me let him turn up.
Oh yeah, unblur. It's the trouble with the blur thing. It always, even if you put it right on the camera, it's still blurry.
It's fucking stupid, man. Like it doesn't like do anything to try and work out what you want to be blurred and not.
It's just the face. It's like, well, not always.
Simon only wants his face on the camera, not the
Show
thing
me
he's
your
holding.
face.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
All right, so okay, so I was like, okay, so this,
Oh wow, that's
this
an
was
interesting wine collection behind you as well.
this.
Oh,
I mean, yeah,
wow.
that's the Mox Jasper. This could be yours. All you need to do is help me make a goddamn business card.
I will 100% accept that deal.
Rob's got such a brain like a sieve. I would mind him.
I'll definitely do it for you this week.
It's because like in also okay, like back to Blur because back to go. So it's mainly because like I kind of need it because I was talking to you guys about how I needed to go back and like do business stuff, but like but this is like it's more to the story than that. But like I don't know if you started recording yet.
I can cut stuff out. Don't worry.
No, okay. We'll save it right at the end where I can vent a lot more, and then we'll get to that. But like, yeah, I kind of needed the business card and the Mox Jasper. This is a really good card. And worst thing is, I think because I tried to get a bunch of collector boosters, a lot of places sold out. So I was able to get like 5 in total.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me walking to one store to another store to another store, so I was allowed to get 5 in total. I think I opened an Ugin, but I didn't realize it was double-sided. So I was like, "Oh wait, it's the really expensive one. It's based off the Secret Lair one, right? It's the like, oh yeah, this is like Ugin now, and this is Ugin when he was a younger version of him." I was like, "Oh, that's just a pretty sweet card." Then I checked out how much it cost. I was like, "Oh shit, I could sell this for like about 80-odd quid, right? Easy." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So yeah, that's good.
When we did the pre-release, so there's this bloke that I play with quite a lot at the shop called Stephen, and he got the pre-release packs, and then he also got a bundle, and between the two, he got 2 Ugins.
Nice.
Yeah. So those 2 alone, so he would have paid like 70 quid for the pre-release and the bundle together, and then he's made like 140 quid just from those 2 cards.
Yes, well, I mean, he needs to sell the cards before. I mean, every time it's like, yeah, we could easily make 80 quid of cards. You can sell it, maybe. I'm gonna keep this for now. It's like, yeah, okay.
So the bloke down the road that I play with as well, in his trade folder, he's got a whole page of mana crypts.
Oh, nice.
The reason that he keeps the whole page is because before they got banned, they were worth like 200 quid each, and now they're worth like 40 quid each.
I mean, depending on how they do the next like season of the draft season, it might get unbanned soon anyway. So we'll see how it goes.
So people think that there's loads of things that are going to be unbanned soon.
Yeah, because like they've got like the brackets for like strength of your commander deck. So it'll be like, yeah, it's fine if they do EDH. Then it'll be like, if they do like proper EDH with like infinite combos as a standard, then it'll be like, yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that's the thing though. Like, cause the way that Commander is, I don't really see the point in banning anything. Because it's kind of like, well, if you don't want to play against it, just say you don't want to play against it.
Yeah, but like because it's for Commander is for the I mean, it's supposed to be casual anyway, but like
Yeah.
if they decided to make it like tournament style, like proper, like with like a list and stuff, it's like, I mean, it's not really casual anymore, is it? It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, like if it wasn't casual, you wouldn't have Ristic Study in there in your blue decks.
This is the thing, man. So they banned a card a little while ago called Golos. Do you know it?
I think so. I think is it the red green? Wait,
No, so it's 5 colors. Um, and it's stupid because like the reason that they banned it is because they said that it could be a commander of any deck, and it wouldn't matter what the deck is, it would be a good commander. And it's like, but by that logic, you should ban Ristic Study as well because that's also good in any deck.
but it's like it depends on like how you play it, because like if you have like if you have 5 colored commanders, and you have something like Leylands, which Leylands is a really good card in itself, right? Like I see people who talk about it all the time. It's like, oh yeah, all my lands are every land anyway, so it doesn't matter for which I fucking do. It's like, oh yeah, true. It's like I need to get a fucking Leylands for fucking my for my Garth One Eye deck. Oh man, that would be so useful. But like,
I'm looking forward to seeing that deck.
I'm trying to build it. I'm trying to build it properly. Well, I mean, I'm gonna do it. I think I know how to do it because on Architect you can put all the cards in, like even if they're legal. So I'm gonna call it the many adventures of Garth One Eye, and I'm gonna be like, this is the first adventure. Then he goes into another universe because that's technically how he planeswalks, because he does it more accidentally than anything else, right? So he goes, all right, well, where the fuck am I now? Because he's like his planeswalking is very similar to the Cyclops, the blue like homunculus Cyclops creature. He kind of like just jumps because he just goes, I'm trying to look for my wife and kids, but I don't know where they are, so I just keep jumping into each universe. Eventually he finds them, from what I know in the story, but like it takes him a fucking while to get there, and it's like, okay, where am I now? I think so. If I make like multiple like secret layers or like something, I can make him into multiple decks. It could be the many adventures of Garth One Eye. It'll be fucking hilarious. All right.
This is why I wanted the Marvel crossover to be Howard the Duck, because Howard the Duck's whole thing is that he's ended up in a universe that he's not supposed to be in. You could have the most random shit in that deck and it'd work.
Yeah, but that's why that's why it's the Deadpool one, because he's more popular, right? And it's like, I get it, right? I honestly do get it. It's like, okay, I get it, because he's black red. Then afterwards you have things like he can do like the bigger Black Lotus, and it's like, all right, yeah, sure. He just jumps through each universe. It'll be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But as we say that now, as we say that for like Marvel stuff, I ask is Alec around, or is he like not gonna be free? Okay. So I guess we should start with. So Rob, why did you choose this film?
I chose this film. I've wanted to choose it since we started Film Club. To be fair, like it's an old favourite of mine, I suppose. I think I'd probably say it's my favourite comic book film, even though it's not really a comic book film. I think like the whole sort of like setup of it's kind of like Superman's on Earth, but he doesn't know he's on Earth, and that whole thing I think is really interesting. I really like Glass as a villain, and sort of like his kind of skewed perspective being that he's got this like disability or whatever, and he's trying to find the opposite of it because he's been conditioned by comic books to believe in that's what would sort of lead him to a real life superhero kind of thing. Like I really like that sort of concept. And I really like how it's kind of handled, because I think something that you sort of don't really get in legitimate comic book movies is that you kind of you sometimes lose the love of comic books a little bit. I think Tim Burton's Batman captured it, but I don't think there's many others that capture it. But I think Unbreakable really does. So yeah, watching it as somebody who really likes comic books is nice as well. Yeah, I think as kind of like a cinematic version of a comic book, I think it's spot on. I think like the way it's shot, you could kind of you can almost see how it would look in comic book panels. I I think like there's some parts of the story that I think are written a bit weird, but it's all stuff that's like comic book tropes. So it's like, well, even though it kind of like rings a bit weird, you wouldn't change it because it is kind of like doing what it wants to do, I feel. And yeah, I just think like in that kind of like if you look at comic book films as a genre and you include films that aren't adapted from comic books, I think this is like a really cool way of making one. So yeah, I think that's why I like it so much. I think it's just like watching it as somebody who's into comic books is a really cool experience for me.
Okay. I do agree that it does take the tropes from the comic books quite literal as in the most sense because it does the two things that you when you look at comic books and us who did like media studies in school look at comic books and the media of it is like oh they have the tropes of like color theory, shape theory, and all like the like styles of the shops as you say like it would be fits into a comic book. I think I think admittedly though there is like maybe it's because it's the first one and the first issue of like of a series. I didn't quite get the story as much as I should do until I realized it's a part of a bigger series. Then you go, oh, actually, I can get okay. First issue, I'm on and off. Oh, second issue, okay. Superman returns. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. We'll get there. I think we'll get there. Then the third one I actually haven't watched yet. I really did plan to watch Glass. Just never had time to watch it. I was like, oh, well, okay, maybe if I watched all three of them, I'll be like, yeah, okay, I can see where like the comic book anthology could have been like if we did Watchmen. I don't know if you did Watchmen or not. Or...
No, we haven't yet. No.
Okay. So if eventually when one of you guys pick Watchmen, for some reason I think it's going to be Ben. It's like it's gonna be a pretty good like thing to see like to analyze not just how like the characters are and how they do the stuff, but it's just like how it's shot and how it's made. And I think that will be a good like way to like deconstruct this. But as I was saying to finish off, what I was gonna say is it's interesting for like the first issue. It wasn't like the best for me, but because I know that there was a second issue and like there's gonna be a big finale, I'm thinking, oh yeah, sure. Oh, this is a good way to enter to this particular like universe of like his versions of comic books. And I was like, yeah, that's a good thing. I think this is a good starting off point. Not the highest starting off point for like the way that film's made, but like, yeah, it gets there. It gets there, and I think hopefully when I watch Glass, and like not everyone says it's a disappointment. Hopefully it keeps that high, but like I'm on a skeptical level because I've heard it trips like near the end. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know where Mary and Camilla went. I was going to echo on Simon's point is that it's interesting you mentioned like Watchmen was like this film came out before the big comic book boom of like the noughties, which I found really quite fascinating because it kind of deconstructs a lot of it before it's even established. And it's quite ahead of its time in that respect. And I was saying to Pat and Emmanuel today, I do have a lot of respect for it even more watching it again now. Because like when I first saw it, I just thought it was a really neat, cool movie that had really cool ideas, and I appreciate it more in a lot of ways now, just because of the tropes it was portraying and the things that it was kind of subverting before we were kind of really knew what they were, and it was really ahead of its time for that reason alone. And I feel like it is just as relevant now, if not more so, than when it came out, and. And M. Night Shyamalan, he's a great director, but he's not always a great director. he's had such a up and down trajectory. Is that sometimes makes great films, and other times he makes really dour, really just not good at all, like just borderline awful stuff. But when he's good, he's great, and this is one of his great works. just because of like the ideas and the concept is just so rock solid, and he's managed to get two amazing actors to kind of help pull it off. With Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, just kind of know exactly what they're trying to do and what they're trying to portray, and the story, in a sense, isn't really like showy. It doesn't rely on big like it doesn't rely on exposition or huge set pieces, and that's kind of why it kind of works and why it stands out, because it's a drama, true first and foremost, and these ideas is coming across is quite subtle, but I really appreciate the filmmaking and how he uses like camera angles to tell the story in a very unconventional way. It's quite unsettling at times, and it's very different to what you've seen around that era. But it just, it has a lot to say, and I feel that the themes themselves, even if some of the plot is a bit muddy and some of the story choices could be fine-tuned and kind of like tightened up a bit, overall the idea of it and the concept and how the story starts to how it ends is really satisfactory. Satisfaction. Well, I can't say the word. Satisfactory. Because it kind of, when I saw it, it's like, oh, actually, it's quite. The ending is very kind of anticlimactic, but in a way, it kind of ends the way it should have ended, because it seemed inevitable in a way. It was one of those inevitable conclusions where it's one of those, the villain is hiding in plain sight the whole time, and I felt was quite poignant. What I never got originally is that Elijah, Mr. Glass, is not broken on the outside, but he's broken inside. He's mentally broken. Hence why he's done all these horrible things, because he just lost. He wants a purpose, and he just wants to do something, and that something is doing these heinous acts. And it's quite interesting. That's the kind of thing, the bit of taste the film ends on. It's a happy ending because the villain is captured and he gets what he deserves, but at the same time, he's still done all these horrible things that he can't undo. And it's like, oh crap. And it just makes you think a bit. And I thought it's a good film to make just for those reasons alone. Just like, this is how life is. Bad things happen. We can't always prevent it. We can do our best to kind of defeat and take out the bad guys. But to get into the root of the problem, we have to understand why they are the way they are. So it has a lot of depth. For some of the flaws and some of the screenplay, it's so strong for everything else because of the ideas and the concepts. It just stands up better than when it originally came out. And even though like Split and Glass came out afterwards, kind of continuing the story, I think they didn't quite have what this film had. And they didn't, especially Glass, didn't have anything new to say. It didn't really kind of do anything to kind of challenge what you knew about this universe, this world. And it could have been so much better. But when Emmanuel's back, he'll have a lot to say about that, because he was telling me and Pat about it today, about how much of a missed opportunity Glass was, because it had so many great ideas and great concepts. They just squandered them because I don't know what M. Night was thinking. He was just rushing it out the door, kind of thing. These great ideas just didn't go anywhere because he just wanted.
Glass for me. I haven't seen Glass yet. Or Split.
Well, I won't spoil it, but many of us are disappointed.
I would say this: Split is definitely good. Glass, I have yet to watch Glass. Hopefully, Glass can still keep a certain like threshold of me going, oh no, it wasn't too bad. I just hope it doesn't like trip right at the end, like everyone says. I was like,
It's a better film if it's a standalone film, I think, just because the McAvoy is just so good, and the idea of this person with a mental disorder where he has like 24 personalities, that's a great enough idea for a film on its own. And when me and Pat saw it, we were just like so impressed, because it was just a masterclass of like acting and performance, and the concept is just so good. So Split is definitely worth your time to at least see once. Glass. I'll let Emmanuel speak on that one.
Okay.
He saw it. He's binged like all 3 of them with Camilla the other day, so I'm hoping they get the chance to talk about it.
Yeah, I agree with what you said about it being before its time. It was kind of like it was before comic books were kind of like mainstream.
Hmm.
And I think that's kind of another problem that it had as well, is that because M. Night Shyamalan was so known at the time for being the guy who did Sixth Sense, they
Mhm.
marketed it as if it was a horror film. I don't think it ever really found its audience either.
Yeah, it's a very different film. It's not even a superhero film, really, and it's not even. It's certainly not a horror film, and it's not. It's. I guess you could call it a supernatural drama, I suppose. If that
Yeah,
science fiction drama kind of thing.
it's kind of fantasy in it, but it's not
Yeah.
high fantasy. Yeah.
I'll go for it, Simon.
Oh no, I was gonna say I definitely feel like it was presented more like a horror film, right? Because of like how like the trailers like portrayed it. It was definitely felt more horror film-ish.
Unbreakable. Well, that's the thing. I think it's because it was like a year after Sixth Sense, and because Sixth Sense was so massive, I think the studio were just like, well, let's just show you this as if it's another horror by the guy who made a really good horror film. Like it's, I think that was the fault behind the market, and I don't think it went beyond that.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I mean, like it seems that way.
Yeah.
Let Mike go next. Yeah, I'd seen it before. I don't know when.
I showed you it when we lived in Brighton.
All right, well, I've seen it before, and I remember really well, quite like liking it a lot at the time actually. So I remember when Rob picked it, obviously last week, I was kind of I remember enjoying it. I couldn't really remember what it was about, so I was kind of watching it with fresh eyes again yesterday. But I think I liked it because it didn't feel I don't know. I guess when you think about like the way it opens and like the comic book stuff, and then I think I was kind of thinking, oh, is it like a Marvel-y type film? But obviously it isn't. It's very much not like that. But it still has kind of like an origin story. And so I kind of liked that it was kind of almost real or believable, I guess, in a way, in that kind of sense. And I think that's probably why I engaged with it quite well. And then I remember at the beginning saying to Rob the train scene with the kind of like filming on the train, and then Rob explained the kind of comic book, I guess, kind of thinking or rationale in terms of the kind of visuals. And I thought that actually, once I kind of understood that, I thought actually the film was shot really well, especially like there's kind of a few scenes that kind of stand out, like the one where he's in the tunnel or under the tunnel, and the football match is going on, and he's kind of in his like that still he's like the raincoat and the rain's kind of falling down and so on. So there was some really kind of great shots, and obviously when he's in the house as well at the kind of towards the end. But I liked the film in a way because even though I'd seen it before, and it being if I was kind of watching it for like the first time, it still felt suspenseful, and I didn't necessarily know what it was leading up to. And then I guess you kind of perceive the climax to be that moment where obviously he realizes, oh, actually, like I can sense shit, I can feel shit, and then he goes to the house and he has that kind of hero moment where he kind of obviously where he saves the kids and from the maybe intruder or whoever it was. I like the kind of it leads with that, and then obviously at the end you kind of actually get the real kind of climax, I guess, and finding out that actually Elijah is kind of behind a lot of that discovery of him being a hero. And then I guess it's kind of that villain origin story, so kind of flips itself towards the end, which I liked. And I was still surprised, but I didn't kind of actually see it coming, even though I'd seen it before. And so, I really enjoyed it. I thought the acting was really strong. I think you kind of had, I don't really know Bruce Willis that well, but actually I thought he was on par with Samuel L. Jackson. That's someone that I think is actually a really strong actor as well. And I thought the whole I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I did. The only thing that really, 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 really let me down were the 2 lines at the end where it was like, "Oh, David's now doing this, and Elijah's now in a ward." I was like, "Why the fuck have they done that?" Like, no, it really annoyed me. I wish they hadn't have done that. I was like, "Why?" And I probably was as pissed off the first time I watched it but it really annoyed me. It just felt I got like the ick from it. It really like, the lines at the end just felt very like, like in black films where it's like, now they put out the joyful music, joyful, joyful for today, and then you see that little line like, James has got a like degree from Harvard or whatever, like Howard University. It just felt it. It didn't
It's
fit.
just trying to be like these events really happened kind of thing. It's a true
And
story.
it might be that sets it up for Splitting Glass and so on, which probably it does now. Hearing, I didn't realize that Splitting Glass were as connected, but it really annoyed me at the end seeing those two lines. So yeah, but overall I really liked it.
I think the reason why that happens is mainly because it was a trope that was done in like the early noughties as movies, just to end it off, just to like say the story's done, be done with, all right, it's just finished, right? That's how I feel like it happened. But also, I realize as a trope in itself, it's actually how comic books end a lot of the time. There's like, technically speaking, there should be like, it needed like the JoJo's like little like flash thing that says to be continued, like right at the end. It could have been like full meme mode where it has a little like to be continued right at the bottom of the corner. Then that would have actually made a whole lot more sense, because those like. Yeah, but like maybe he didn't even think that he was going to make a sequel to this, which is probably what it was like. It took him a while before he took it. Was it because this was made in 2000s and Split was made in 2017, 16? Okay, so it took him 16 years to make a surprise sequel. So it's like so like that's. I think he just wanted to make his story and just say, look, it's over, it's done, but like maybe like how comic books have like a little to be continued box. That's probably what it is. But I didn't expect you to go with like how happy stories. Like I didn't expect. That's not what I was thinking of at all. But now that you said it, it's in my head now. I can just like imagine Bruce Willis smiling at the camera. And it's like, and he's just like, and he's like, he went and had a long and happy life with the rest of his family. It's like, and it's like, that's like, okay, that's not. It's like, okay, that's not what I expected. But that's just like the image is in my head now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like I said, if it just left with obviously, Elijah not really feeling, remorseful, and you've kind of heard this revelation. It's like, oh shit, like they're both existing in this world now. One being obviously very much a hero, and one being kind of this villain. Like, what's going to happen? You don't know, but I would have been satisfied with that. But I think then to hear like, oh, Elijah's been taken to a clinic for the insane, it just felt a bit like needing to tie it up and kind of give an ending. And I think I'd rather just left it to be like, oh wow, okay, what could happen, and kind of not known. I think the ending just kind of dipped a tiny bit in the quality for me, but overall, really enjoyed it as a film.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, yourself, Pat or Camilla?
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, my number is just hurting randomly.
Right.
Camilla will be listening. Huh?
I asked if you were right.
I don't know. I think so.
Really?
It's just randomly hurting quite a bit. But I think it's getting better. I do get back pain sometimes.
Okay.
But it's better now.
Okay.
Anyway, Camilla's listening in because she's busy prepping for tomorrow's like Easter meal.
Oh, nice.
With like family and friends and whatnot. But yeah, if there's anything, I'll relay it from what she thinks. But otherwise, for my opening statement, it's okay. It it's not bad. It's not amazing. It's one of his better things in his earlier part of his career, where he did better things. before a certain point where it started going downhill. And while I wish, I mean it, while I wish it was better, but better in a way of like how it was written. I thought there could have been even more there, but I'm also not surprised. But I'm very, I don't know if jaded is the right word, but having watched Split and then Glass back to back afterwards, I've seen Split before, but not Glass. And Camilla saw Glass, but not Split. It was like Split was like, yep, reminded again, yep, why I did like it. It still has its problems. Again, story-wise and some of the writing, but the acting, just like this film, just like Unbreakable, is what truly carries it. The great actors in it truly make it what it is. Without them, it's okay. But you really need someone who's really good to really pull this off. And I guess that's true with a lot of films, but especially with like this trilogy, so to say. And then not to go too into it now, but Glass felt like a rush job. Really, really disappointing. Really just like what are you doing? What is this? Um I honestly you're not missing out anything having not seen it, Simon. Honestly. When you do see it, you will not be happy, I don't think.
I mean, like, you kind of need to, like, I kind of need to, like, it's one of those things, like, I watched Venom, I watched Let There Be Carnage, I even watched The Last Dance. I don't need to watch The Last Dance, but now that I've watched it, I can kind of go, alright, I finished watching the Venom series. Do I need to, it's one of those things, right? You can't really complain about the film until you've watched it. And it's one of those things that I think we've all agreed, well, we semi-agree on, like, if we've watched it, we can complain all we want about how good or bad the film is. But until we've watched it, we can only meme about how bad it is. Like, I haven't watched Morbius. I've heard it's Morbin time. It's actually now a part of the canon stuff in the universe. So, like, technically speaking, I kind of want to watch Morbius, but like only because for the shits and giggles. Like, will I enjoy it? I don't know. It might not be as bad as people expect it to be. Like, I expected Let There Be Carnage to be quite bad. I watched it on the plane. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't as bad as expected. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'm gonna watch Morbius and be like, that's not too bad actually. It's shit, but it's not too bad.
That's what Emmanuel thought.
We'll have to see. We really have to see. We'll get to it when we get to it. But like,
So
yeah,
you might be the one to pick it.
no. I can't do that.
So you pick even worse films. Oh, I see how it is.
Well, like, I'm almost gonna pull a D20 and roll it in a second if I can't like decide what to choose. I could do that, but I was like, oh, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how
That'd be
I
a
do later.
very D&D way of picking a film. Roll of the dice.
We've done it once before, so we'll see how it goes the next time. Right? It could be really bad. It could be really good.
The last Dice did it when he picked the Grinch. He even did it with a dice tower.
Okay. I mean, that means I need to go and get a dice. All right, you guys continue on. I'm gonna go get some dice.
Man. But yeah, it's that's mainly my kind of thoughts. It's the more like as I got through his trilogy of these films, and I am curious to maybe the reasons people think his kind of quality of his stuff started going down. after a certain point. I have different like theories or thoughts, but I just want to hear from other people. But outside of that, it would be nice to also hear what people why people rate the impact as they did. Because I haven't really read up much on this film at all. And I think the more I haven't watched enough of his stuff, but as I started to get through this trilogy, more and more of his kind of almost like telltale shortcomings in his writing would kind of show through and really annoy me. And then I'd just be like, please take more time. But anyway, that's my opening statement.
You know what? I love M. Night Shyamalan. Like, I think that his good films, I think, are like just yeah. I think like they're crafted really well. They're always like really interesting concepts, and I think like his better films are films that I would put on par with like my other favorite directors. Um, but yeah, I think like I don't want to diagnose him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had like ADHD or something because it feels when he's into something, he's really fucking into it, and
He's
it'll be
committed.
like an amazing thing. But then I feel like there's other things where it's like, okay, I can tell you weren't really interested in making this, and then it's like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, we were saying earlier about After Earth and Last Airbender. That's that M Night is like is at least interested, least involved. It's just like him on autopilot kind of sense.
yeah, and I think it's a shame that he gets kind of like he gets a lot of flack for Avatar, and it's like it's not like it's unwarranted, but it's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a studio film.
Yeah, like
Okay, are we really gonna go to like talking about Avatar as well? Because if we do go down this path, we're gonna really have a long conversation about me shit talking about it.
Plot
well,
twist. It's on someone's list.
I think it's one of those
Oh,
where it's like, I mean, I don't know, like. I think if you judge any director by like a half-assed adaptation that they did, like no one's going to come out very well.
Yeah, it's
okay,
like
okay.
David Lynch and Dune all over again, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's very questionable that film. I
Uh-huh.
do I actually do not believe it's completely his fault. I believe like the like producers and stuff were probably like, no, you have to do it this way to please like the studio execs over that way. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't make sense because he's not really. Yeah, and they don't do. Yeah, okay. No, we're gonna go too deep into it before I get really fucking annoyed. I don't get fucking Last Airbender. Jesus Christ, Pat.
But
What
I
was
think,
your? So let's cut it through. Let's cut it through because I'm gonna get really fucking annoyed. So Pat,
Well,
by the
evening,
way.
everyone.
how are you doing?
So, I really enjoyed this one. Probably my favourite film of his by a considerable distance. So I was preparing myself earlier when I was talking to Ben and Emmanuel in GDK when we were talking about M. Night Shyamalan, or however you pronounce it. So he actually started directing really strong. Obviously, he's most well known for Sixth Sense, which I have my own sort of issues with anyway. But if anyone hasn't seen it, I'm not going to go into it now. But anyone that knows my opinion on it will agree to disagree. But like outside of the issues I had with it, it was a pretty well-made film. But like if you go through his other stuff, hold on, let me get rid of this crap. Like Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, and The Village. He started off pretty strong, and then he face planted with The Lady in the Water, The Happening, The Last Airbender, After Earth, and
Oh, I forgot about
then sort
it.
of split. But I feel like this cat has already had enough shit talking on Glass. Glass is the weakest of the trilogy, but I still think it's a pretty decent film. So I actually think Simon is probably as easygoing with films as I am. So I think he'll probably enjoy it. This film, when I first saw it, I didn't even really make that much of a connection to comic book stuff. I just, even though it's so obvious, like with Brucey being Superman and Samuel L. Jackson being me as a kid, I guess, because I I had so many broken bones growing up.
No.
But
Wait, okay. Wait. Okay, let me ask you this: how many bones did you break?
8.
42.
That's a lot, actually. Okay, I should ask everyone else this: how many bones did everyone break as a kid? Because I don't think I've broken any.
I
think
before
one.
anyone answers, I'd be very surprised if all of you cumulatively have had as many as me.
Yeah, so I say eight breaks is quite a lot, Pat, man. How did you?
Yeah, and that was all in one day.
I played a lot of sport, and I was like any normal kids would run around like a headless chicken and not care about their health.
I'm just
I've had-
imagining the line like, doctors can't believe how many bones this kid has broken today.
They were spread out over about 15 years.
They were spread out
Okay.
over 15 minutes.
Actually, I was born with a broken shoulder.
Oh,
Oh, so
shit.
you are like
Oh,
legend.
so you are, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I should really say this. So
That should have been your opening statement.
none of you knew me before. What,
You
I
were
was
born.
18, 19. So when I was in junior school, I had a bit of a complex because where your shoulder sort of goes like that to join together, mine went up like that because of the broken bone.
Oh.
When I was in year 6, when we did the Greece stage show, I had to go for surgery to fix that because the bone was, I think, 3 inches tall. So like, I don't know. I just take my pen here. It'd be
Wait.
basically,
Are you saying your arm lifted up 3 inches above where your shoulder should have been?
so if I'm sat normal like this, see where my pen is under my jumper. That's basically what it looked like, and I had a bit. I think the most problem I had was the sort of psychological aspect of it. And it didn't really, I didn't really feel any pain or anything like that, but it obviously had to be done. But yeah, that was the first break I had. I've also had 3 torn muscles.
I mean, like, torn muscles, I think, technically speaking, as adults, we would probably tear our muscles more now because we've hit 30. And, like, every time, like, I bend down, I'm like, oh, fuck, I've torn a muscle. So I don't know if that's the case. I think torn muscles isn't as bad as broken bones, is what I'm saying. It's like, if you guys have broken, like, if you say you've broken 8 bones, it's quite a lot. Like, as you said, I don't think cumulatively we've broken 8 bones between us. Maybe, like, I've sprained the ankle, but, like, I don't think that really counts as a bone break, you know what I mean?
No.
So what we're saying is at some point during our childhood, M. Night Shyamalan went to Barking and he thought, I need Samuel L. Jackson to play that kid.
Well, what's funny is I was reading up on why he casted Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, and he watched Pulp Fiction and got inspiration for them two to play the characters he had written.
So it's interesting you say that because Quentin Tarantino said that he wished he directed Unbreakable.
Oh, that's interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
He would have got
see that.
he would have got Samuel L. Jackson's feet out.
No,
But yeah, no, I thought the concept of the film was really good. Like I think it laid solid foundation, and it just allowed the stars of the film to sort of work against each other. The scenes I really liked in it were scenes that they were sort of face to face in.
Mm.
But like we were talking about his film in general, like I think as a director, he's not really that good of a director, but he has really good storyboard ideas, and his
Yeah.
writing's decent when good. But I think if he had just stuck to writing rather than directing, I think he'd have a lot more hits. There's like there is one other film that he's involved in quite heavily, but not a director. I don't know if you guys have seen it, called Devil.
sorry, say again. Sorry,
Uh,
say again, Pat.
A film called Devil. He didn't make, but he wrote. No,
No, I didn't.
I might have to pick it at some point. It's one that I really liked. I don't know how well it was received generally, but like it's no, I'm not really say much to give it away because it basically would give the whole premise of the film away. But I thought in recent years that's probably one of his sort of cleverer sort of scripts. But yeah, like when he's fully motivated, I think he is a very good writer. Obviously, Avatar: The Last Airbender came out within a month of Dragon Ball Evolution, and that was a very good month for me. But I think this film is comfortably his best one. And I'm pretty glad Rob's picked it because he was threatening to pick it a few years ago, and I went out and bought the Blu-ray. Completely forgot I bought the Blu-ray, so when he picked it, I was like, "Oh, I've got it."
I was sitting there thinking, I really need to get Pat to unwrap that Blu-ray.
Yeah, it was still in its cellophane, and I was like, I'm cook me jerk chicken and sit down and watch it, and it was a wonderful button.
At least you didn't buy it again. That would have been the worst thing.
To be fair, it's been terrible. I could have given it to someone else.
Yeah, true.
It's not like it cost that much. I think I bought that one for £3.
Oh, bargain.
Yeah, no, I do think I do think M. Night Shyamalan's really underrated. I think people associate him too much with the bad stuff he's done. Because I think like if
Go on.
I was just gonna say, I think if he'd have made The Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs, and then retired, everyone would be like, "Oh, it's such a shame that he didn't make more. He was so great." And it's like, I don't know. I mean, even if you go back to like Stanley Kubrick, he made some bombs, but because they were so long ago, nobody remembers them. So it's like,
I think that's the point though. Like people have sort of short memories. So like he started his directing career with an absolute bang, but he then transitioned to the guy who made Fantastic Four. Not quite that bad, but like he just went from really, really top tier stuff to that absolute trash.
And then keep doing that. It's not like
Yeah.
oh, I have a mix of things. He's just like on a string of, I think Split is one of the first in his recent films that's okay, this is back to close to like Unbreakable
Yeah.
kind of levels.
Knock at the Cabin's good as well.
What is?
Knock at the Cabin was good as well.
Yeah, Knock at the Cabin we spoke about today. He had a film come out a few months ago that wasn't well received. I quite enjoyed. Can't remember the name of it. We were talking about it earlier, but I think the problem is like if he had made those 4 films recently and all the bad ones in the beginning of his career, people would be like, "This director is pretty damn good." But because all the good ones, all of his best ones were at the beginning of his career, people are like, "This guy's a hack." He's not.
But that's
But
like the
that
that's like the typical thing with like musicians as well, though, isn't it? It's that like
yeah,
your first few albums are your big albums because you've had your whole life to make them, and then what comes after, you're a
yeah,
different
Ben
person.
said this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said the same thing this morning. It's like, yeah, it's just like because you have to do this follow up. You spent your whole life making the first debut, and then to do Sophomore album, you've got like 6 months. Wait, I've had like 6 years to do the first one. Now I've got 6 months to do the follow up, and it has to be just as good. And it's like, oh crap! No wonder there's so much pressure, and it's gonna be inferior no matter what you do. In some
But
cases,
I think it's a really similar thing because I think it's like the impression I get is that sort of like The Sixth Sense was something that got made because it was worthy of being made, and there was no expectation around it, and it was just somebody who wanted to make a film and he went and did it. And then that was such a hit that they said, okay, we'll let him do another one. And he was like, okay, cool. I've written this other film. Again, no expectation. Didn't ever expect it to get made. And then that's when we got Unbreakable. And then we got Signs just after, a very similar situation. And then once you've had those three hits, you're then sort of like known as this person who can just sort of churn stuff out. And then I think that's the stuff that he started getting. So it was like studios were just chucking anything at him, thinking this is a safe pair of hands. And it seems to me like his response to that is just to be like, I'm completely disinterested in this. And it's like, yeah. So I think the impression that I get is that if he could have been allowed to stay as like a fairly independent filmmaker, I think he would have been fine. But I don't think he fits into that kind of like
yeah.
corporate Hollywood mold.
Yeah, as soon as they got him to do Last Airbender and After Earth, films like that, that's when he's just like, yeah, he's out of his depth. This isn't
Yeah,
his bag. So he
yeah,
kind of needs more time to just do what he's good at, just create a really good concept. Like I said, he doesn't even have to direct it. He can just like write the screenplay, or he can just direct and do someone else's screenplay and just improve what they've done. He kind of like should do that as well. But if that's the case, just like focus on really great ideas. Like
mm,
I think we all really liked what we spoke about this earlier, the cabin film with Dave Bautista.
yeah. Nothing with Kevin.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good,
I thought
interesting
it was really good.
concept. Yeah,
Mm,
even if it wasn't 100% a masterpiece or anything like that, it wasn't close to that, but it just was original and unique because he's adapting this really interesting story with
yeah,
his Shyamalan twist. Really, really
mm,
worth your time, I think.
yeah.
And you need more directors and filmmakers like him.
Do you know what I do? Just you saying like the twist. I vividly remember watching Unbreakable for the first time, and you know that scene where he goes out to the bench and he gets the comic book that his mum's put there. That bit where she's like, they say this one has a twist ending. I remember watching this for the first time and being like, of course it does.
What did you think, sorry, Rob? I missed that part.
I remember when she said it the first time I watched it. I remember thinking, of course it fucking does, because it was like I watched this after I'd watched Sixth Sense and Signs, and like obviously by the time
Um,
he was well established as the person who does twists. It was- yeah.
I think this is also because he was actually in the film himself as like the one guy who was doing the drugs. Maybe he was like,
Oh yeah.
the twist is I'm in the film. Hey, that's about it. I think that's a joke. I think it was a joke for himself, to be honest.
That scene though, when Bruce Willis is like, "Oh, I'm looking for a drug dealer, and I think it's you." I was looking at M Night Shyamalan, and I was like, "There is no chance if you weren't the director that you would have been cast for this."
That's me. Because, because yeah, you really because like you're looking at him, and go, yeah, you have drug dealer vibes.
Yeah,
No, it's not
that
there.
guy, that bloke, he looks like a science teacher. It's him.
maybe he's, maybe he's running the pure stuff,
Yeah,
just the stuff to some of the people who have a bit more money. Oh, Camilla said Walter White.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe the people who wrote Breaking Bad watch this and be like, "Oh, that's it. We need a science teacher." Yeah, I think some of the things that I really like about it, it's all the things that sort of pay homage to comic books, like the whole thing where like each kind of character kind of has like a uniform, um, and I really like that Bruce Willis's uniform is just his security guard coat, like the whole thing of like that rain Mac with security on the back being like his sort of like hood and cloak kind of thing. I thought that
Yeah,
was a really nice idea.
that's his costume. I thought that was a great. Yeah, that's his secret identity. Well, his superhero costume in a sense. Really
Yeah.
Oh
cool.
yeah, but it's security because keeping everyone safe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, but that goes into shape theory of what it's supposed to be, because he is designed to be either circles or squares, because circle is like a sort of like innocence, but square is supposed to be uniform and like strength. If you look at like the design for his character, or like especially when he's got a cloak on, it's very much square shape, square shape, circle shape. Where,
Mm.
funny enough, if you look at Elijah, especially because you just look at Sam Jackson, the way that they designed his hair, all triangle. His hair is a triangle, a little weird bow tie that he has, even like to the point where his suit goes into like when he's in the wheelchair and he's on blankets. They kind of look like squares, but no, they're like double triangles on his whole blanket. It's all like
Mm.
the shape theory about it. It's like, oh yeah, because they're supposed to look uneven, and because they talk about it as like comic book artists talk about like the actual art on the film. Like, look how they design his eyes. It's purposely like extra bulgy and stuff. I was like, yeah, because you're literally doing it in the film as well. It's all triangle, so it's kind of like it's so good to see like it's not just talked about, but it's because again I think we've talked about they're not just telling. They're showing as well. It's like, oh, I see you did your homework. It's nice, Mr. Shyamalan.
Yeah. I think that's yeah. There's so many little touches like that. Like one thing that I really liked was so the scene where Elijah falls down the stairs in the train station, and then his walking cane smashes, and you realise that that's made of glass. I thought that was a really nice touch, and a very
Yeah.
sort of like a very typical comic book kind of
Hmm.
sort of element of a character kind of thing to have a glass cane. I thought was a really cool thing, and I don't know if you noticed as well, but like the inside of Elijah's car, I thought was really well done because like even like the dashboard and like the inside of the doors was all padded. I thought
Yeah,
that
I
was
did notice that. I did like the purple motif as well for him and his mom. Just that was the color that he associated with, and since he was a kid, he adopted it as an adult. It was just part
yeah.
of his attire. That was a good, like, villainous kind of like code that he was a significant character.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even the sort of I don't know what you'd call him really, but the bloke who he has kind of like the boss battle with, like even he's got his own kind of like villain costume in that
Oh yeah,
orange.
he's yellow or
Hmm.
no, sorry, he's orange.
Mm.
I'm thinking about Split, where they make James McAvoy's character the yellow, because they use like that sort of like color theory this time when they did it for like the promo art, because the hero is green, the villain was purple, and there's like the yellow like unknown in the middle of the
Yeah,
of the B character. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Again, a lot of like comic book homework that was done
yeah,
into this. I was like, that's nice. I feel like it shows appreciation for the art, and it's like, yeah, because like, yeah, that's how the art is designed. It's very basic
Yeah,
in its own way, but it's like, oh yeah, but it shows that you understand where the origins come from.
yeah,
yeah.
certainly.
And I think that's another thing for me. I think that's probably a big reason for why I like Unbreakable so much. Is that the films that are kind of like straight comic book adaptations, there's not many of them that I actually like very much. Like I love the Tim Burton Batman films. I love the Richard Donner Superman film. Um, when you go past that, it gets quite spotty. Like I really love Iron Man 3. I really like Captain America. Outside of that, like there's more misses than there are hits. Like for me. And I feel like Unbreakable is one of very few films, probably along with only Tim Burton's Batman, that I feel like really gets like a love for comic books. And I think like yeah, there's not many of them that I think you can like watch and it feel like a cinematic comic book. But yeah, Unbreakable and Batman are kind of the two for me. Or Batman Returns as well, so three.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I'll go with that because it's kind of like sometimes they want to obviously adapt it to such a degree, it takes out the comic bookness about it, and that's why, in some ways, yeah. As much as I love the Christopher Nolan Batman films, they're more Christopher Nolan films than Batman films in a sense. They're not.
Yeah.
They're kind of not like, yeah, we're gonna make a Batman adaptation like even Tim Burton did. And in some ways, he did make it more of Tim Burton in Batman Returns, but at the same time, he still was like, yeah, we're gonna make this wacky and wild, gothic and mad and just zany and a bit campy, and that's what the comics were like in that era. And he did a good job of adapting exactly what the comics were like at that point in time when the film came out. It was exactly a one-to-one kind of thing, keeping the familiarity, keeping like keeping it faithful, they just making it a cinematic adaptation. So it's hard to get that balance right. It really is.
Yeah, I think the closest that you've got other than that is probably the Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, because it was a comic book brought to life in moving form in a sense, but it still had Bruce Timm's stamp of like his own style. So it was a good, like, perfect balance.
Yeah.
So I can see what you're coming from. It's just because Chalamet and like managed to kind of get the balance spot on, being like, yeah, without adapting anything, you're kind of being more faithful to the genre on the whole because you're not hyper focused on one particular character. And it was quite clever that all the focus points in this film where you see the comics, they're kind of like fictitious. They're not real. They're made for this film, but in the background you still see some of the real life ones like Spider-Man, Thor, Superman. They're all in the background, but you never get to see them close up.
That was something that I do wish that they changed slightly because well, to be fair, maybe they couldn't, but so when he gets the comic book as a gift from his mum and it says Active Comics.
Yeah, it's just like Action Comics.
I was like, if only they took the rights and used Action Comics like that, it would have been so much neater. But then, to be fair, they do use the characters that they made for that comic, so yeah, maybe it does work.
It is a weird one because it's like, was that a correct choice or was it just because they couldn't get the rights? And it's probably
that's the thing.
the latter.
I think I assumed it was because they couldn't get the rights, but then now I'm thinking about it, they do use it to inform Elijah's character, so maybe it is a creative choice rather than a right thing.
Yeah, because one of my favorite scenes is the scene where you first really get in the head of Elijah when he's just showing this perspective buyer in his comic book kind of like art exhibit, and the guy is just like, yeah, I like this piece, and he's just explaining why it's so intricate and so much depth to it, and he's just like, yeah, my 4-year-old son would love this, and it's like, wait, get the fuck out. You don't understand what this place is about. This isn't for kids. This is for artists that appreciate art, kind of thing. So it just showed you everything about him, who he was as a man at that point, and I thought that was a really clever scene.
So when we were watching it this time, I was thinking that maybe there's a link to High Fidelity there for me because I really like. So I watched Unbreakable and I watched High Fidelity at a very similar time. Like it would have been when I was like 15 or something like that. And I reckon I probably took to them both for very similar reasons. And when I was watching that scene, I was thinking maybe it's because in Unbreakable and in High Fidelity, it's people who like it's characters who really like the stuff I really like, and it's characters who are putting it on like a pedestal that it deserves. And I was like, when you've got Samuel L. Jackson being like, no, you don't deserve this art because you don't understand it, in the same way that you've got like Jack Black going like, oh no, get out of my shop, you can't buy Stevie Wonder in here. Like it's like maybe it's a similar thing where I'm like, yeah, no, you should treat this as art.
Yeah, they appreciate it. That's very much that point. I was like, yeah, when you said about Tarantino would have liked to do this, I can see that scene, especially being him like a Tarantino moment where just like one character just goes on this like long spiel of a rant, just saying why this is great and why you're wrong. I can just imagine him directing a similar kind of scene to this.
Yeah.
It just seems in this ballpark.
That's the thing, like if you put those two scenes side by side, they're so similar. Because you got like the one where the one in this where Samuel L. Jackson's like, oh, you know, this was it. Did you see a child in a helicopter outside? Because you seem to think you're in a toy store. Like that's all.
Yeah.
It's like it's not word for word, obviously, but it's like beat for beat the same as what Jack Black says when the guy comes in and tries to buy a Stevie Wonder record for his daughter.
Does this look like a playground to you? Is there some idiot in the front just in some sort of like fancy dress costume?
Yeah, it's perfect.
I like the character of the son.
Yeah.
In the sense that he just was really invested, I guess, and really kind of believed that his dad was obviously a superhero. And obviously the scene with the gun in the kitchen, for example, and him following the behaviour, I guess, kind of at school and wanting to kind of do right. And then I guess the contrast of the mum who kind of, or the wife, didn't really kind of like want to get involved. But I thought it was interesting kind of how she said about in the physio session, right, that she didn't want to be a footballer. She didn't want him to go into football because obviously of the violence, and obviously I guess the irony of him now being a superhero and not her kind of not realizing again that that's kind of also what she's signed is in for as well. I thought was quite a nice it was quite a nice touch. I thought they were additive in terms of I don't know, sometimes you get kind of, I don't know, secondary characters don't really add much, but actually I thought the way the writing used both the son and the mum I thought was quite thoughtfully done and quite well done. I thought a kind of kid who's like so invested in the superhero, and obviously when it's his dad, it reminded me of it reminded me of Turbo Man in Jingle All the Way. I don't know why.
Jingle Man.
That's
what I was thinking about. I was like, I know, because I just know that the kid is the actor, but the same kid is in Gladiator. He is the son of like.
Oh yeah.
He's the same kid, and I'm like
Maximus.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
But I thought he was great.
He's a good. I don't know what he's in. I think he reprised his role as his kid in like Glass, but I don't know what other acting he's done. But like I know him as, because he's got the same sort of like, because he had the same sort of like wavy-ish hair with freckles as like all those like the different kids do now. He's just like, you see him and goes, oh, I know that kid from somewhere. I was like, where do I know this? Oh yeah, he was in Gladiator. He was like a little kid looking up at like the very tough, strong guys in like Gladiator. Now he sees his dad as the tough, strong guy as as a superhero, which like.
And he grew up to be Thomas Cole.
What?
He's in Gladiator 2 as the son of Mac.
I mean, he does look like.
Oh, okay.
Random tangent.
Okay, but the point is, like, I guess as like he does as his son, he goes through that arc of like he wants to be like his dad, but he wants to be his dad who has like that sort of like feeling of like his dad is a superhero and all that stuff. But like it's funny, just like the scene always gets to me. I don't know when it became a trope about it, but like, why is there a trope of my dad could beat up your dad? I don't know where that starts from. I don't even get why that's a thing. I just know it's a thing of like, my dad could kick your dad's ass. It's like, have you seen? I don't know what your dad looks, but unless your dad looks like fucking Bruce Willis or like Arnie, right? I don't think that's gonna happen, right? It's like if young Bruce Willis just comes up and looks at you, you'd be like, oh. Sorry. Like,
be fair-
you could've...
That used to be a playground thing in my school all the time.
I can imagine you being involved in that.
I remember one person saying that their dad had knocked my dad out, and I said, yeah, probably.
I don't know why it's a thing. It just seems like it's a thing in those films. I don't think it's happened. I don't think it happens nowadays because it'd be a question of like, I mean, like he probably could, but my dad owns a gun, so I don't know if that's like how that works. So I don't know how that works. You know, I guess it's not actually.
Sorry, go on.
No, I just realised. It's just the thing I'm thinking about right now. It's like, what sort of age rating is Unbreakable?
I think it was like a 15 or something.
Okay, I was about to say because like I can't imagine anything with a child holding a gun can get probably think anything lower than a 12. You know what I'm saying? So I just realised it now. If it's a 15, okay, I get it now. But like a child holding a gun is probably not exactly gonna be like certificate like friendly. You know what I mean?
I think it's
It's
probably just that.
12.
Oh, it's a
It's a
12.
12, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Price.
No.
Something's happening at WrestleMania. I don't know what.
CM Punk just arrived with Paul Heyman.
I have no idea what the fuck that means. You're just making up words. He goes, yeah, then afterwards the guy gets a ladder and he's got a suitcase and something. Yeah.
No, that's Money in the Bank. That's not WrestleMania.
Fuck, I know it's a thing, alright? I didn't actually know it has a proper title. I just like, oh, you're fucking like, okay, sure. It doesn't matter. Okay.
Do you want to do favourite scenes?
Oh,
Look at Rob trying to pick it up already.
Yeah, Rob's like, come on, guys.
Go on, Rob, if you've got a favourite scene.
It's sort of hard to pick, actually. I said it without any preparation.
I don't mind going first.
I've done it.
I mean, it's not probably too as much the film. I think well, actually, it's. I like the scene with the mum and the magazine in the park. I think that's kind of like that's trying to give him like purpose and trying to give him something that I guess something to kind of do and something to look for and appreciate in the day, rather than becoming quite isolated and kind of inward within himself. And I guess that kind of, I mean, I don't think you necessarily see tons of him kind of extroverted kind of as older. I guess that it is the kind of thing that I guess I think it kind of sets him up obviously for his trajectory for the rest of the film. But as a mum, the kind of conversation I think that she had with him kind of like in that scene, I think is just quite just quite important, I guess, in the sense of him feeling kind of worthless or defined by what was happening. And I guess in a way she kind of, not necessarily uses it for right, but she does kind of eventually give him some sense of purpose and kind of meaning that maybe he's looking for. So I thought that was quite a good scene.
Yeah, I think that's a really important aspect of the film, actually, because I think that whole thing of like a kid who isn't sort of getting on very well at school because he's got this disability that the other kids just take the piss out of and like all that kind of stuff. I think it's really nice to make part of his character, or not even part, like probably like the main aspect of his character that he dealt with that through comic books. I think that's really cool.
I'll go next then. That's a surprise there, isn't it?
It's a twist. It's Shyamalan week.
My favourite scene is the scene in the kitchen with the kids holding up the gun, I thought the intensity from all parties was top notch. And like, having seen the film before, I sort of started sweating during it as well. So I was like, oh shit. But no, I thought it was done so well. Like that, I can't really like, if there was a scene that it'd be defining of the best of the director, because I don't want to butcher his name again. That is probably it. There was another scene I quite liked, and it was the one in the football stadium, when Bruce Willis is sort of pointing out what the bloke is carrying under his jacket, and it proved to be pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Those two scenes were for me my favourites.
Maybe that would be my favourite scene then. Actually, it's the bit just after. Well, it's that. It's the bit where they're talking about Bruce Willis saying like, "Oh, I've got an image of like a gun with a silver whatever and a black handle," and it's the I really like that bit of dialogue that Elijah says where he's talking about how like comic books are just an exaggerated version of reality. So when you see superheroes with these like special abilities, perhaps that's just an exaggerated version of instinct, and that's what Bruce Willis had. Yeah, I quite like that. I really like the whole concept of comic books being like like an equivalent to how you used to sort of like hand stories down by like painting them on walls and that kind of thing, and it being like a real history of the world, but that's become commercialized. I thought that was a really nice thing to talk about.
Oh, I also have another favourite scene. One favourite moment that made me laugh was with the babysitter.
Oh yeah,
When she mentioned that he'd got a job in New York, and she was like, "Were you not going to tell me you moved to New York?" And then when it's raining outside, she was like, "Oh, great."
I touched on my main favorite scene with obviously Elijah in his art exhibit with the comic books, original art pieces. That was one of mine. But yeah, I think another one, I suppose, one really enjoyable scene where you kind of where Dunn is literally just, but he and his son are just finally understanding his potential and what he can do in the basement where he's lifting the weights. He just keeps going, and then his son is subconsciously adding more to it, and he's just like, "How much was that?" And he said, "Yeah, it's this much." And so, "Wait, you didn't put any more?" "Yeah, I put more on." And he just like says, "Yeah, step back. We're going to do more." And I thought that was interesting that they kept on pushing themselves, because it wasn't really a physical thing at that point. It was more of a psychological thing where it allowed him to just keep going because nothing was going to stop him, hold him back. If he knew he could do it, he could do it. And that was really interesting. And his son was obviously swept up and swept in by it at that point. And then obviously Pat's scene where he mentioned about the showdown and in the kitchen with the gun, just being like he was literally lost his mind a bit, just kind of like not really sure who his dad was at that point, if he was really who he said he was. But I did like the ending, going right back full circle at the end in the kitchen, where Dunn just shows his son the newspaper with the excerpt of his exploits, saving the family and saving those people with this comic book style impression, this drawing on the paper, and it's just his son instantly knew what he meant, and they didn't really exchange any words. They just had this mutual understanding. It's like, yeah, I did this. I do have these powers. I can save people. I am a hero. And I thought that was a really good, touching scene that they both expressed together.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that was a nice moment. I really liked how they played that, because it's like you said, because there was like minimal dialogue. It was a really nice moment of just being like, I'm recognizing that you were right here, and this is what I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
can make a difference with these powers. I
Yeah,
don't have to hide it anymore.
exactly. Yeah, that was a really nice moment.
It's good.
Yeah.
Um,
Just thinking, because like I'm looking at like my notes as well. I'm just seeing like there's so much you could choose for like what could be. I guess it's the scene where he's actually in the comic book store and like messing up the guy's day a bit, and he discovers, oh, it's such a flaw that I didn't realize that superheroes have weaknesses, because that, I mean, as super as they are, they need a weakness or it becomes like a thing, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. And he like slowly, because the guy is like meta joke is because he's like the guy is like, hey, you better not just be jerking off into the Japanese cartoons back there, which is funny because I know Sam Jackson also has done an interview where he's like, yeah, of course I read Japanese manga and cartoons, hentai too. He actually does that laugh. It's a thing, but like it is a thing about where he goes over and discovers, oh yeah, of course, he's a superhero. He has a super weakness as well, because that's, guess, what makes him like a super. It's kind of like the conceptual basis of what makes his character the super character. And then afterwards, he talks about it, and it's like, your weakness is water. There's like a certain curvature of like how you do superheroes. I am on the opposite ends of like what you are, because you are Unbreakable and I'm Mr. Glass. But we have both of like the sort of like curve of like we both could easily drown, and like how we can like have that weakness, which isn't like a super weakness, I guess, but like it's kind of like it makes it feels like it balances them out slightly.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see that, because afterwards he talks to him about it, because he goes back to that place so many times, even though every time he says, yeah, we should, like, if Elijah comes over to the house again, we should call the police. Next scene, he's back into that fucking museum. I'm like, okay, sure, why not, right? But like, it gets to the point where afterwards he's like, he realizes he's never been, he didn't like break his body when he had that car crash, and essentially it's like him going, okay, let's say I accept what you're saying. What's the next step? What is the story progression for my superpowers? And it's like training arc. You have to enhance your abilities and powers. Goes over, and it's like and he's like touching people in the fucking, which sounds worse than it does, right? But he's touching people in the train station, and it's like he gets to know, like, oh my god, he's an arsehole because he's a racist drunken bastard. He's like taking advantage of like the drunken girl, and there's like the whole, like, he goes through it, but it's like the one that he could deal with is because it was still happening was the janitor, and he's like, oh shit, that's fucking, oh, that's still happening right now. I guess I should deal with that one first. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you see like the images that are flashing in his brain, and it's like, yeah, it's a training arc. I mean, like, I feel like it's like very similar to like Superman Year One, I think it is, where Superman Year One is like, he's not quite Superman yet. He doesn't realize he doesn't need oxygen to breathe outside, so that he still has like he still has to put on like a super suit, like, so he can breathe air, even though he doesn't technically need to breathe air when he's in space. But he doesn't get to learn that until much later. This is the Superman that has like brain limiters in his head, so because he's just worried about hurting people.
Yeah.
So it's like it slowly builds and like becomes a training arc for his character, but it has to start from somewhere, and it starts with him picking up the phone and going, "Okay, I didn't hurt myself during that car crash. What do I do now? What do I go with this?" And he himself is accepted that maybe I do have powers. So what should I do with them? And that becomes that's his hero origin arc. And then afterwards, him coming back to Elijah at the end, shaking his hand, is the beginning of Mr. Glass's villain origin arc, which is I think is quite nice as character beginning stories, which is like very apparent in comic books as we've established like this essentially is. So it's like it's good to see how it's done, and I think because of how it begins shows us how it would like venture off eventually into Split, and hopefully into what Glass would be when I eventually see it. Hopefully we could see if it gets into a good like level of it. We'll see how it goes. But I think it works. It works for the way it does work. It works quite well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of really interesting thought behind it. Yeah, I think that the important thing for me is that I get the impression that it was written by somebody who sort of understands why comic books are cool. And yeah.
Corey put some comments, but they're in this chat for this call, not the general chat. Don't know if that makes sense. As well. You click on the speech mark in the top right, they come up there as well. I don't know if Camilla and Emmanuel are there.
I think Emmanuel fell asleep.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
Oh yeah, Archie comics is comics, but I don't think it's the same sort of like Action Comics. I don't think Archie was part of Action Comics, to be honest, Corey. If he was, then I need to like double check what Action Comics is about then.
Action Comics was just the original run of Superman.
Is that it? Is that? I thought Action Comics had more like superhero characters. Is it just Superman?
It was mainly Superman, but it had other things. Like Detective Comics was mainly Batman, but had other characters as well. But since they got bigger in popularity, they became the main ones of each one, and then it became DC Comics after that, as far as I remember.
Okay, because I'd say was Action Comics and Detective Comics as like a big studio, like connected as together, or were they just like separate entities that got brought together?
They're kind of separate at the same time, owned by the same company, and then they became the same thing. It's hard to explain. It was before they were really strict rules who did what, but there were the same editors were working on both.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough because like it don't. I mean, like looking at it like now because I don't have like a wiki pulled up right. If like I expected like it could have went either way because eventually then you have like Jack Kirby and Stan Lee on the other side with the Marvel Comics, but they didn't call I think Marvel Comics was just called Marvel Comics. I don't think it was called anything else.
They were called something else. I can't remember what it was. It was something.
Yeah, I think it was just a stylistic thing at the time because I think it was like because they were like such early comics. I don't think they realised that the thing that was popular was the character. So it was kind of like, oh, these are comics for people who like action, and these are comics for people who like detective stories. And then it was like, oh no, Batman is the draw, and Superman is the reason people are buying these. So yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Click his next.
Silence.
Oh.
Oh wait, I thought, or are we picking on? You guys have any like final thoughts?
No.
It good.
It's good, yeah, okay.
I'll review already.
It looks like somebody's watching you from above your webcam.
Oh, it looks like a lemon is at the top of the call.
Who said?
It's a lemon.
I don't know. You better ask him.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a lemon.
yeah, like,
No!
like on your image, it's like right there, and so it's like, look, if you look up, it looks like you're talking to someone.
What is it, Pat?
No, what is it?
Is it a lemon?
No.
A banana?
I think it might
What
be
is
then.
here at the front of your camera? There. What is that? Is it a
That's
flat?
it. It's the flowers.
A flower.
tulip.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, cool. That's nice.
Right,
Okay.
flowers.
Very Easter, very nice. Okay, so Rob, wait, do you have your phone on you, Rob?
I do, yeah.
Okay, I sent you like 20 films, and we'll do it right now. Give me a second.
Oh shit! So Rob's gonna decide.
Oh, I'm gonna do
No.
this.
Oh,
It's
another Christmas film in the summer.
How do you do
No.
that?
but some of them are a bit odd, right? And some of them are like, what? Why would you choose this film, Simon? So it's like, we'll see how it goes, and I'm going.
Rich was like, "What the fuck is it?"
I'm going to roll the. I'm rolling the dice now, and I to show you it's the Tarkir one, right?
Oh shit! Someone it better not be Lost in Bidden.
Oh, half is so depressing.
Shit,
Don't pick
I
Dragon
know.
Ball.
Okay, so as we go, roll the dice, and okay. So wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. So not a depressing film. So the film that was randomly chosen is actually a good old childhood favorite film of mine. It's one of those films that I've watched as a kid a lot, and I used to have it on like on tape, I guess, and I used to watch it. But now it's like I forgot about it for the longest time until I watched the new Disney series about it. Then I realized, oh wow, I haven't watched this film for ages. I just put it on my list as a thing, so I don't need to. So this is a very good projector for a lot of stuff that's been made in Japan as well. I'll explain that later. But essentially, the film that I chose was DuckTales, The Lost Lamp.
That's awesome.
Oh, DuckTales. Oh.
Yeah,
I can't believe you
yeah,
did
Journey of the Lost Lamp.
with Indiana Jones.
Oh.
No. DuckTales is like, I used to watch DuckTales a lot as a kid. Like, or at least like on like reruns and stuff. But this particular movie I've watched on VHS for such a long time. I just completely forgot about it until they made a new DuckTales series on Disney Plus. So yeah, this is definitely on Disney Plus. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check actually.
Yeah, it's a Disney film, yeah.
I don't think so.
So it would have. I would hope so, but like I don't know. Well, you say that, but like there's some older Disney films that aren't.
Yeah, they took
On
Willow
the thing.
down.
I'm looking for it, and all I can find is video games and TV series and a mini movie.
Yes, it's DuckTales the movie Treasure of the Lost Lamp. That's the full title.
Oh, here it
Man,
is.
I haven't watched this for fucking ages, to be honest. And like, I'm kind of glad I rolled for it, I guess. And it was instant roll. No, not instant. As I finished rolling, as it stopped, I took a picture. So I'm not cheating.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
But I love the fact that Rachel looked at my list and went, "Holy shit! Some of these are depressing."
Yeah.
This is pretty much this is pretty much the same list I gave for the April Fools like pick.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like I only added and took away some of the other ones because we've done some of them. For like, if I chose in like number 17, I think it was that. I'll say again.
There is a film on there that we have already seen, just so you know.
Oh, which one? Shit! I still, yeah. Oh yeah,
I
I
know.
forgot to remove. Yeah, I forgot to remove that. Fuck. That's a good point. Yeah, but like in worst comes to worst, I'm kind of in the reroll. But like, yeah, this is the pick I'm choosing. DuckTales the movie. I haven't watched this for ages. I think I was gonna choose a sad film anyway. I was good. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, this is a light film. It's only like an hour ish, so it's fine.
No. So you could have done a double bill or something.
No,
What's
it's
the
not
check?
that. Did you make Did you say I could have made a double bill because it was ducks? Sorry, what?
Oh no, because it was short, not because it was
Oh,
ducks.
sorry.
You could have done a
Uh,
double bill because there's 2 ducks in it.
okay. So, if that was the joke, that was a pretty funny joke. But that's okay. So never mind. But in any case, I
Someone
think
doesn't give a duck.
okay. So I guess okay. So I won't choose a depressing film this round. I guess this is what I'll choose for this round. And like worst comes to worst,
Next round.
if I mean depending, next round maybe, next round definitely maybe. But like, the question is like we'll see because like how you guys are doing it. We might not do it for Saturday. We might do it for Sunday. We'll see how it goes, right?
Yeah, what's good with everyone, really?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I guess this is a very easily digestible film.
Yeah.
And then you were
What?
next week, me, Bennett, and you are seeing Ink.
Yeah, I know.
So we're talking about when we're going to do next week's.
Oh, I'm not available next week either.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
So no one's over.
So we do it on Sunday. That's fine. I'm gonna go for that.
Yeah, I don't mind doing Sunday.
Yeah. Then afterwards, yeah, we'll see how it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So like, yeah, it's on Disney Plus. I think it's only on Disney Plus. Maybe I don't know. But like, yeah, this is a very. It's very much. It's a very catchy. This is a very like easygoing film of my childhood. Yeah, DuckTales. Woohoo!
Nice. Very, very fun.
Rob, before you go, are we still going to that card shop next week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Oh God, how many people are going?
Don't give a duck about cards.
Sorry, what card shop are you going to?
Artsphere.
Where?
Artsphere in Shepherd's Bush.
When are you going?
Sunday. As in the 27th.
Fuck, I might need to work. I need to because I'm working like this week a lot anyways because it's East. Oh shit, I need to go to sleep. Yeah, I need to. I need to go up. I need to get up early to make sure I get enough like time for like everyone else because everyone else is on holiday as well. So I've got to do doubles. It's the life of me. Got the doubles on Easter. but hopefully, if Sunday isn't, you know what it is? I'll have to give you an answer on Friday if I have some spare time for fucking Sunday. You know what it is? That's what it is. All right. Oh, and if I do see you on Sunday, I can give you the Mox Jasper. That's probably the best way it is.
Well, all right, we'll make that my deadline to get you your business card then.
Okay. Cool. All right. So DuckTales. I just gotta find a good picture for my for the list. We'll see how it goes. All right. So for now, I think we should edit.
Where are you going? I was going to turn off the recording.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that's
You're
about
next
right.
then.
Does he have to go upstairs to go up? Or because I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know how.
We're in the living room.
I don't know the layout of your house, so I can't tell. Oh, there he is.
He's upstairs. The living room.
All right.